All right, well, the president is very confident this will go through. This will be a winner for the American people, could be a winner for the White House. Will that be the case? Ken Blackwell, a former Trump transition team member. Mayor, good to see you. What do you make of this?
I think it's great news. I think it's great news for growth. I think it's great news for getting that capital that's offshore flowing back in here, creating jobs. Jim Rhodes, former governor of Ohio, used to say it's all about jobs, jobs, jobs. And working people want jobs and income lift. I think the Senate and the Congress in general have a binary choice. They have to choose to embrace the status quo with anemic growth and slow job creation, or in fact, they can choose change, whether it's big change or moderate change, but they need to be on the side of change and growth and jobs and income lift.
You know, you're talking about it's all about jobs. You're right about that. But there are some people who fear that the tax cuts that companies are going to get, they'll just plow back, at least initially, into their stock, increasing their dividends. I mention this a lot because that is what happened last time they got something akin to this. They're free to do that, and that has its own positive effects for the economy, but it doesn't create jobs right away. Are you worried then that the jobs gains part of this comes later?
Well, when you look at the number of Americans who, in fact, have their futures tied to lift in the stock market and stock prices and what have you, and dividend returns, that would not be my preferred choice, but that too has a positive impact on all of those folks who are at retirement age or who've already retired. But I think the comprehensive package will in fact encourage folks to invest that money in jobs and workers and put us on the path of making sure that we are in fact not only the world's only military superpower, but that we are the 500-pound force in the room when it comes to economic drivers.
Do you ever, I know you're not, a market wonk and all that, you're too cool for that, but, a lot of people who I've been talking to kind of been saying this has all the feelings of a market melt up, that they're very enjoyable when they happen because they certainly be in a market meltdown, but that there's a frenzy to it. It could be a very justifiable frenzy, but that you obviously can't see gains like this all the time, and Americans are not prepared for what happens when it all slows down. Do you worry about that?
Not too much. I think we have a president that understands the nature of capital. The Trump bump is real, and Neil, me personally, I talked to my family, and my wife always says to me, "What does Neil think?" So I sort of, and she's there watching you today. So say hi, Rosa.
But she also thinks your head is larger than mine, and there's no way you're not even in my zip code. So she's obviously your better half there, but on this she's not distinct. But I do want to ask you, the reason why I mention that, as you know, Ken, the president has spent a good deal of time, as he should. If it's going your way, you might as well mention it. How well the markets have done and the pickup in economic activity, 3.3% latest quarter. But the flip side of that is markets don't always go up. Ronald Reagan famously said that.
That's right. And
Ronald Reagan rarely mentioned the markets, even though when his presidency was done, they were a lot higher than when he came in. Is there a danger to that? I know you're friends with the president as well. Do you ever advise him, go slow on this, Mr. President?
Look, I don't want to think that I'm that close or that big of an advisor to the president, but I will tell you, having worked with Jack Kemp, having worked with Ronald Reagan, the fact of the matter is that markets go up, markets come down. One of the things that we have to do when markets go up and revenue goes up, that is the time that you start to deal with disciplined spending restraint, because it in fact makes
they don't do that, though, Ken. They don't do that. Both parties have consistently failed at that.
That's what they bet. That's where they better come to grips. That it's not all about always going up. Markets come down, and if you don't have that spending restraint,
I see none of that spending restraint in either party. That does worry me longer term.
Yeah, and me too. So, I'm going to be on the sidelines, or if I'm in the game, I'm going to be basically saying, look, we have to address the spending restraint and spending cuts, because if we don't, the ride down, and the market will eventually turn down, will in fact be a very, very scary ride.